Hello, Couch Brotato Mafia. Welcome back to the Couch Brotato Podcast. Coming up on today's episode, Lucas and I are joined by the master of the New Balance 624, professional dad Mark Dyer, to sit down and talk about the brand new entry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Coming up after the trailer and the guitar riff, we give you Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange,
I always suspected this day would come.
because you always suspected this day would come.
I'm ready.
On May 6th, nothing can prepare you for the mind-bending descent into madness.
This is the only way.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Rated PG-13. See it in premium large formats and IMAX.
Hello, and welcome back to the Couch Potato Podcast. My name is Russ, and with me, as always, is Lucas. Lucas, how's it going, man?
It's going pretty good. I would, before we get started, I would like to apologize to Mark Dyer publicly because he was telling a touching story and I made a terrible joke. So I apologize.
Well, I was going to introduce him. I had a really funny introduction for him, too, but thanks for spoiling it, Lucas. Yes, we are joined by a good friend of the program, Mr. Mark Dyer. Mark, how are you doing?
Doing good.
Yeah, I was going to call you the master of the New Balance 624.
I have never owned a pair of those shoes, for the record.
I've seen you wear a pair of white New Balance.
Negative, no. Those would be Reeboks, sir, if I had them.
Oh, well, same thing, just different brand.
Tomato.
Yeah.
Yeah, but one costs more than the other, truthfully.
That is true. I mean, I think you could score a pair of white Reeboks at Meijer, whereas New Balance, you have to go to a reputable shoe store to get those.
No, they both have. Myers has both kinds.
Don't argue with him. He knows.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. He marks it down on the Christmas list every year. What do you want for Christmas? Give me these movies, some comic books, and I need a pair of white tennis shoes.
Current shoe of choice at the moment, so just so you know. Skechers.
Also, dad pair of shoes. I own a couple pairs of those myself, so I can't complain. Well, today on the show, we're going to take a trip into the Multiverse of Madness. We're going to discuss Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which just was released Thursday.
Yep, we were all there.
Yes, we were. And I thought it'd be kind of a cool time to talk about it. I will forewarn you, this is one of the first of many warnings before we get into this. If you have not seen Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, please do not listen to this episode until you have seen the movie. Unless you want shit spoiled for you, then go right ahead.
Oh, we're dropping spoilers. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, normally on when we used to do the movies, I mean, those movies were sold. Like, if you had seen them, that's on you. But yeah, I don't want to be the prick that ruins a movie for somebody because I know far too well to have something spoiled for you.
You were at work and it was what, Star Wars?
Star Wars The Force Awakens. Fucking son of a bitch. But real quick, we'll just run down the tail of the tape on Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. It was released on May the 5th, 2022, directed by the incomparable Sam Raimi. Stars Benedict Cumberbatch, Elizabeth Olsen, Benedict Wong, and Xochitl Gomez. Rotten Tomatoes score of 75% from critics and 87% from audiences. And I just read that this movie had a $187 million opening weekend, which is the 7th biggest of all time. I think it's 7th to 11th, somewhere in that range. And it's the biggest opening for a Disney movie in the pandemic era.
Wow. I'm not surprised, but
yeah,
we've largely come out of it, I would say.
Is that bigger than Spider-Man?
No, Spider-Man would be the biggest. It's Spider-Man's technically a Sony film too, so.
Oh, I see.
And then it's the second biggest opening weekend of the pandemic, only topped by Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Before we continue, once again, Lucas is going to basically give you the plot of the movie. So if you have not seen Doctor Strange and don't want it spoiled for you, please shut it off, go see the movie, then come back and join us. So, Lucas, give them the rundown on the plot.
So the movie opens up with America Chavez running with a multiverse Doctor Strange.
I'm going to call him hipster Doctor Strange because he had the 2 stripes and the man bun.
I'm going to call him Thriller Doctor Strange.
I can't know the time. I'm not sure the time frame because Doctor Strange isn't big on my comic knowledge, but the costume he's wearing was used in the comics at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's taken from the books. So,
Mark, we need your knowledge on this shit whenever we're doing this because that's a cool fact, actually.
Yeah, see, I would have never known that. But go ahead, Lucas. Continue with the rundown.
So they're being chased by a demon, and they're trying to get to the Book of Ashanti, which I kept hearing Book of Ashanti, and I kept thinking of the pop star or the R&B star from the early 2000s.
First, when we seen it on Thursday night, I thought the same thing. Like, wait a minute, what?
But it's Vashanti with a V. So, they get to
just for reference sake, Lucas. From now going forward, I will forward you a page of what's called the Marvel Universe handbook, and there's a page that has a listing of all the mythical items out there and sort of things, and the book is in there. So it's the Darkhold and the book was came out before the Infinity Gauntlet, so it wasn't on there, but I think the Infinity Stones are. So
God damn, that's nerdy as fuck.
dude, that is nerdy.
Oh, it is.
I can't wait to smoke
stuff,
some
though.
weed and read that shit. Actually,
Hey man, send me more, dude.
I had to actually get those things out when the Eternals came out because I was like, I just saw this movie, but I didn't know who anybody was.
that
Except for
movie
a couple
sucks
people.
dicks.
That movie does fucking suck.
I haven't tried watching it a second time. When I saw it, I was like, okay, whatever. But I'm like, it was such a highbrow version of the Marvel Universe that I didn't even read in the comics. I didn't care for it. So I was like, why did they think this was going to fly?
Well, they're introducing gods, so so when they're trying to get to the Book of Ashanti, the version of Strange tries to steal the power from America. Sorry, I don't know. That was just funny. And he's killed by the demon while he's trying to steal her power. Turns out her power is being able to open up all the multiverses on top of each other and go to any single one of them that she wants to. They wind up on Earth, which is Earth 616, I believe. So there's at least 616 versions of Earth, and the the MCU that we know is 616. Doctor Strange goes to a wedding of his ex.
I was gonna say, yeah, not just
Married.
a wedding.
Yeah. What the hell was her name again?
Christine,
Thank you.
played by the very lovely Rachel McAdams. But go on.
Tadowdums. Anyway, so there's this commotion. Strange runs outside, sees that America's fighting this. What would you call that? An octopus?
I'd say, yeah, an octopus. It had tentacles and one eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm sure it
Eventually-
probably has a name somewhere, like an actual comic book name. So I know I've seen it. That I've actually seen in a Doctor Strange book, but I don't remember.
Judges are going to allow you to call that an octopus, so you're good.
All right. Sounds good.
It's not underwater. You have to have a cooler name for it, though.
Pussy?
Mark?
Octopussy?
The judges have spoken.
Pussy. There you go.
The judges have spoken.
Okay.
It's okay.
So Wong appears. They kill the demon. Then they try to figure out what's going on with this America girl. They take her back to why can't I think of what they're called? The buildings that they go to.
Kamatage?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the
Sanctum.
I thought you were talking about the.
Sanctum.
I thought you were talking about the pizza place. That's where they go first. Is the pizza joint,
Yeah, that is pretty funny.
the
I'm getting-
pizzeria.
I'm getting to that. Sorry, this is a really long-winded plot thing. I'm like running through all of it right now. Anyway, eventually Doctor Strange finds out that that the dreams that he was having are actually what's being seen through the multiversal Doctor Strange's eyes. He notices some runes on the monster that they are fighting, which makes it a witch. He goes and asks Wanda
Maximoff
about the demon that was chasing the girl and what she knows about multiverses. Turns out Wanda was actually the one sending the demon to get the girl because she wanted to take her power so that she can go see her fake children in all the multiverses, since she lost hers when what would you say, she was cured in WandaVision, or at least stopped in WandaVision?
I think she just realized what she was doing was wrong and she quit.
So she goes and sees Billy and Tommy through a thing called dream walking. And Strange and all of Comatage try to fight off Scarlet Witch because she's coming to get the power from America. They end up going through the Doctor Strange in America end up going through a multiversal tunnel. I don't know what you would call it. It was
Portal.
really cool. Portal. Showed all these different worlds, like a paint world, which I thought was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
There was that one where Doctor Strange was like getting sliced into pieces and shit.
Yeah, I always liked the one too where his face kind of looks like a puzzle.
Yeah,
coming apart.
That was pretty cool. They end up on Earth 838, where Doctor Strange is a hero on that for killing Thanos. Doctor Strange and America are betrayed in the Sanctum by a multiversal Mordo.
Carl, which I found to be hysterical. It still cracks me. His name's Carl Mordo.
Mordo is a bad guy in the on 616 Earth, the normal Earth, but he's not necessarily a bad guy on 838. He's just not a great guy. He was actually friendly, from what I understand, with Doctor Strange on that alternate Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Mordo takes America and Doctor Strange to these glass cages. Then he comes and gets Doctor Strange later, takes him to meet the Illuminati, which I thought was really cool. So you had, pretty much the whole series of What If on there, it seemed like. So you had, or like that idea anyway. So you had Captain Britain.
I think she was just Captain Carter. I don't think she was
Captain Carter.
Oh, okay. So she was Captain Britain?
Yes. Nerd stuff here, Lucas. Captain Britain is a different character.
Yeah, I believe Captain Britain is a male.
Yes.
You can be whatever you want these days. You can be man, woman, it doesn't matter. You guys are putting them in a box. Gosh.
Well, that's one of the reasons we brought Mark on the show, is because, clear up any mistakes.
True.
You might make. He's the closer tonight, guys.
So what was the other? There was
you had Captain Carter, which was Peggy Carter. You had Black Bolt from the Inhumans television show. You had Captain Marvel, which was not Carol Danvers. It was Monica Rambeau.
Monica Rambeau, yes.
Mm-hmm.
The character's name currently, I think, and I just don't read anything that the character's, and I think her name is Photon now.
Mm-hmm.
In the books. So, but she's changed her names. Like,
I think Photon is the daughter, the one that goes in the WandaVision, the one that walks through the barrier on the outside. Oh. That's Photon.
You also had, which was teased in the Super Bowl trailer, you got Professor Xavier, which is played by Patrick Stewart from the Fox X-Men movies. And then the one that I was most excited about was we got to see Mr. Fantastic, played by John Krasinski.
Which was really cool. It's nice to see, they it's nice to see the Fantastic Four again.
That is one series of movies that like I wish that they would make a good one, but we'll dig into that here in a little bit.
Like I said, Doctor Strange is dead in this new multiverse. And you find out that he was actually killed by the Illuminati because he tried to get the Darkhold, I believe is what it was. He tried to use the Darkhold, which is the book that you find out throughout the movie that Scarlet Witch is using to dreamwalk. And it's just a really bad thing. It takes a hold of your mind and turns you kind of evil, really. So Christine is still alive in this alternate universe, and she still loves Doctor Strange in this other. She loves Doctor Strange in this other universe. She frees Doctor Strange she frees America when Scarlet Witch comes in, kills all the Illuminati. So she's still trying to capture America. She kills everybody, I think, except for Mordo, doesn't she? In that whole fucking building.
I don't know what happens to Carl.
So she comes and she frees Doctor Strange as well from his handcuffs. I think I'm getting a little out of order in this part but they are trying to escape the Scarlet Witch. They go down through a tunnel. They eventually escape when Doctor Strange floods the tunnel, which that part was actually, that had a couple jump scares. Mm-hmm. Made me jump a couple times. And when she killed Professor X, that made me really fucking jump. Yeah. This movie was well, I'll get into that. You guys look like you're bored to death. You want to take over the plot regime?
No, you're doing fine, dude.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So they I lost where I even Strange, Chavez, and Palmer enter space between universes to find the Book of Ashanti. So they take Christine with them to try to find the Book of Ashanti, because it is the exact opposite of the Darkhold. So it gives you the knowledge to be able to do all good, as I believe is what they said it was.
Basically, it helps. It's basically a sorcerer could use that to cast a spell to basically
do anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I was trying to remember and read where I was, and was trying to think of all that stuff all at once. So they do find the Book of Ashanti, but Wanda appears and destroys it, and then she takes over America Chavez's mind. And she uses Chavez's power to send Strange and Christine to another universe. And then she takes Chavez back to her, what would you call that, a cave, lair? Hole in the mountain.
What is that mountain called?
Wondagore.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So then there is a Doctor Strange in this universe that original Doctor Strange has to go and fight in like this musical notes fight, which I thought was really cool.
That was very cool.
But the reason that he is fighting that Doctor Strange is because Doctor Strange was trying to use the Darkhold, and he needed it. Or he was using the Darkhold. The original Doctor Strange needed it, and the Darkhold, like I said, makes you do bad shit. It also gave that other Doctor Strange a third eye, which was, I'll get into what I thought about the movie. So with Wong's help, I almost completely forgot. When they came through the portal, America and the original Doctor Strange from the beginning of the movie, alternate Doctor Strange. Man, I'm getting confused. There's too many goddamn Doctor Stranges.
Yeah, we get 4 of them at one point. I think throughout the movie.
When it comes through with the octopus with the eye, the dead body comes through because it killed that Doctor Strange from the opening scene. So Doctor Strange, in order to dreamwalk, you have to go into another one of your versions from whatever universe they're in. Well, since this one is on Earth, and that's where Scarlet Witch is trying to steal America's power, he can dreamwalk into the dead body of this Doctor Strange.
Yeah, we get zombie Doctor Strange, which I thought was really, really awesome.
Thriller Doctor Strange.
I'm going to call him zombie Doctor Strange.
And it's really cool because, that's forbidden in the magic world. So there's all these, I guess they would call them demons, I don't know, that were coming out attacking Doctor Strange. And he could feel all that since he's dreamwalking. It's like as if he's in that body. But then he eventually thinks about it and uses his power to take control of them. Takes them up, defeats Scarlet Witch and her mountain trolls along with Wong. Saves the fucking day.
Well, actually, America saves the day.
That's true. Yeah, she punches the shit out of Scarlet. She punches her into an alternate universe.
Well, basically, she takes her to a multiverse where she's in front of her kids, and I think it ends up being the same one that they were in before.
Yeah, the one where she was using that Scarlet Witch to chase, or that Wanda Maximoff to chase down Strange Christine in America in the tunnels.
We got that goddamn ice cream song. But she sees the error of her ways. She decides that she has to kill the Darkhold, basically end it, and then boom, collapses the mountain.
The whole mountain.
Yeah. Zombie Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch perish in the rubble. America ends up training in Comertage. Doctor Strange gives her hey, it was cool. Catch on the flip side. Boom. Ends of the movie. Turns out that the Darkhold still has a hold on him because he has a third eye. Goes to black.
Then the after credit scene. Mark, what is the name of that character?
You want to let that go? You want to tell people about that?
Yeah. I've said that we're going to spoil shit out of it. We've already spoiled half of it.
The character's name is Clea.
Clea. So Clea appears to Doctor Strange after you see his third eye, or when you see his third eye.
Who is played by Charlize Theron.
Yep.
And before we go into, Mark, you have to help me out with this. Who is that character? What's the point?
Well, in the comics, Clea's becomes Doctor Strange's protege.
Mm-hmm.
He trains her to do magic, but they end up being lovers and a thing later on.
Oh.
She actually, in the book, she actually becomes Dormammu, which it's the Dormammu character's kind of like somebody that's possessed by that type of fire thing. It's the way the first movie makes him seem like he's his own thing, but is actually like a possession of some sort. And I don't know if that's exactly right with the comics, but
can't bargain for shit either.
Yeah. But that was one thing that happened. I'm not sure what the character's at now in the books, because like I said, I haven't read the Doctor Strange books for several years. So.
Well, yeah, when I seen her pop up, I'm like, oh, cool, it's Charlize Theron, but who the hell is this? I had no idea. Lucas sent out a text message kind of giving a brief rundown of who it is, but I had no idea.
Oh yeah, no, it's a good addition, definitely. It's
well,
more
she can...
you get the Christine character as a love interest, and that's all. People didn't like it though; it was kind of boring because he was a doctor. But this is a magical love interest that makes it more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So
would you say their love is magic?
Exactly. So we'll see where it goes, in the next movie, of course.
She's really cool because she can open up the multiverse as well with just a swipe of her hand, which is a sword.
Yeah, I don't, like I said, I don't know the character's power. I know the character's magical, but I'm not sure her specific powers, what she could do. So, um,
So if you're still awake after my riveting rundown of the plot,
Uncle Lucas's story time is concluded. Oh, well, you didn't go over the second post-credit scene. It's a funny one with Sam Raimi, frequent collaborator Bruce Campbell. Earlier in the movie, he runs a food stand called Pizza Papa, which America steals some food from him. He wants to get paid, so Doctor Strange casts a spell on him where he basically just continues to hit himself. Just Bruce Campbell, slapstick, physical humor master that he is. He's just hitting himself in the face, squirting mustard in his face. And then basically the end of the final post-credit scene is the spell has been lifted. So fade to black.
And he looks at the screen and he goes, "It's over.
It's over."
All right. Well, gentlemen, after Lucas's riveting rundown of the plot, which we'll have to trim the ums and the pauses.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's first try. It's first test run. This is going to be the first of many, so we'll get it down. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts on Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness? Mark, I'll lead off with you.
At first, as we were watching the movie, I didn't care for what they did to the Scarlet Witch. Mostly because going into the film, I thought the character was kind of like a team up.
Mm-hmm.
How my mind's going, why the hell is she the bad guy? Then I realized, okay, well, she kind of tormented all those people in that town. So this is kind of her penance, if you will, that they're going to turn this character into this this villain, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even though her motives are somewhat have some sort of pureness to it, it still wasn't what I wanted to see from the character. Not what I expected.
Mm-hmm.
So it was an interesting twist. So and it's funny, like we've done. You guys have done older movies that people have years of perception about that doesn't really change about the film. This one, I mean, over the weekend I talked to people about it, and they were like, "Well, this was the Scarlet Witch movie." I went, "Yes, no." How much character development did we really get from Doctor Strange himself from this story? Except for it's these adventures that just were. The movie had a good pace; it didn't stop at all because of that.
I have a thought on that point that I'll get into later, but go ahead.
So, I mean, like I said, but the character, I mean, it was a character I grew up with since the 70s, so it was hard to see the character go that way, except for the fact that she's done it in the books before. I mean, she's gone that evil switch. So, and then, at the end of the movie, she squishes herself with a mountain, but everybody's like, there was a red pot, so she's not dead. Well, yeah, probably not.
No, I mean, I didn't expect her to die either. They'll probably bring her back at some point. Well, isn't Agatha getting her own television show on Disney too?
Yeah, I was going to say that they have an Agatha that went on. You got to put her in that just to screw with her. So, I did like how the Doctor Strange character, did what he generally does a lot of, to where he'll do what seems like the wrong thing to do the right thing. Using the dark hold and then dream walking. I did find that fascinating too. That they had that concept of that when you dream, that's somebody else's universe. I can't say that I've seen that before or heard of that in any like science fiction or fantasy that I can recall.
Listen, I gotta tell you, as a stoner, that fucked me up. That got me thinking now that's all I do is think about it.
No, I had a dream the other night and I woke up with, fucker, asshole, can't believe you did that.
Well, I've been trying to figure out how I can do that so I can have someone go to work for me.
Gotta have a third eye.
But yeah, I thought that was good. That was interesting, to make that sort of connection and then make it like a something the Darkhold could do to Euphoria, whatever. So that was an interesting concept. And then I don't know. I mean, from what the comics I read as far as the Doctor Strange did, you basically gave Sam Raimi like a giant pen to create all the wonderful images that he created. I mean, it was such a great visual movie. I mean, there's always something going on, the magic and stuff, and it was very true to like the old school Doctor Strange stuff. It was all out there, wild. Like Lucas said, it would be a really good trip. So, but it's definitely a Sam Raimi movie too, because it's borderline. I mean, you push the violence and the graphicness, you get a rated R film easily.
Yeah, I was telling one of the guys that went to the movie with us, they push this as far as they can go for what's, let's be real, for the most part, the Marvel movies are family-oriented movies. I mean, they're PG-13, but they're geared towards families. They push this as far as they could go with a lot of the gore and stuff. Which I mean, plus, like, I don't know, like, I was thinking, too, like, it didn't really feel like a Sam Raimi movie until he meets the Illuminati, and then basically it switches to almost like a horror movie.
Her chasing them down the...
Well, even before, like, when the only thing that was very Raimi-esque was the shutting of the doors, and it's the quick cuts, but the doors shutting. Like, okay, yeah, that's definitely a Sam Raimi nod. But yeah, it didn't really feel like a Sam Raimi movie until
he bust out. For him, it was an excellent return to the comic book genre.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be interesting to see if... I mean, a lot of the directors will stick to the same subject. If he's going to do the next Doctor Strange, or can we give him something else to play with, you know, in the Marvel Universe? That makes it more interesting. So...
Well, I mean, I don't know. Do you see him going back to the well for a fifth time in the comic book world?
Oh, yeah. He's going to get a lot of love out of this film. I mean, a lot.
Oh, I'm sure, but it's just...
And you can tell he had a lot of creative control to it, as opposed to, you know, he was bitter about Sony forcing Venom into the last Spider-Man movie. The character shouldn't have been in that film. It would have been much better without it. And he was pissed about it.
Yeah.
We got the emo Peter Parker because of it.
There was a lot that was wrong with Spider-Man 3, but...
I watched it again, and actually, after time, it holds up a little better. Not much, but it's still... I've seen worse Spider-Man movies. I mean, Amazing Spider-Man 2 is still a piece of crap. You know?
Touché.
And if anyone else argues with me, I'll go, okay, well, you're going to need to sit down and watch the most recent Fantastic Four movie, and you'll know how bad a comic book movie can get. So... Mm-hmm. Especially when you have money to play with and you ruin it so bad. That's the worst part about it.
That was really a bummer because that movie was awesome for like the first half.
Yeah, it was. It was not bad at all.
And then it went off the fucking rails and was horrible.
Yeah, I actually think that cost Josh Trank Star Wars too. I think he was in line to direct a Star Wars movie, and then after that one took a shit, I think he got I forget which. I think he was supposed to do Rogue One or Episode.
Let's just be thankful he hasn't done any of that, you know?
Well, I don't think Josh Trank has done anything since that Fantastic Four movie.
Oof.
I think I looked it up the other day. I was on Vudu, and his name came across, and I was like, I was looking at Chronicle, and I don't think he's done anything since. Maybe a TV show.
No, I don't think he's done anything. Well, I think this was Sam Raimi's first movie in quite a while too, if I'm not mistaken. I know he did that. I think the last thing I remember him doing was that Oz the Great and Powerful, which not a fan.
Not hateful. It's not painful. It's a little slow though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Mark, anything else to add to your thoughts on the movie? What you liked, what you disliked? I mean, you've kind of gotten in a little bit of what you liked.
I mean, yeah, I like the action. I like the thing. I like the Illuminati. It was nice that Lucas pointed out the what if stuff, because I didn't, you know, the Illuminati from the comic books consists of Captain America, Mr. Fantastic, Professor X, Black Bolt, a character called Namor. It's kind of like Marvel's version of Aquaman, if you will.
Oh, I know the Submariner.
Okay, very good.
Clamoring for him for years. I've been wanting to see a Submariner movie, so.
Iron Man. The thing about the Illuminati though, in the comics though, Steve Rogers like disagreed with him at one point, and they basically like messed with his mind and said, yeah, "You're out." So it was pretty,
Be gone.
Be gone.
Get
Plus
out.
the Illuminati was also, they also sent the Hulk off into space too, which is where we got the whole Sakaar thing. In the comics, they sent him to Sakaar, to the planet, which is a whole different storyline. Which I think the Marvel Universe has teased a little bit, but they'd have to actually like do a Hulk movie to do a World War Hulk storyline. So
I don't see that happening.
it would be interesting though. I don't think that people want to see it. So I don't think there's a whole lot I disliked about the film. I mean, it was entertaining. My stepson said he didn't think it felt like a Marvel movie, and I said, "Well, no, it was definitely a Marvel movie. It's just a horror movie at the same time."
Mm-hmm.
So, and part of me is also thinking, where is the Marvel Universe or this? Where are they going with all this? Where's our big bad that's driving this whole thing? Like we had Thanos in the last run of it. So,
well, save that. I've got a theory on that one too.
Okay.
Some thoughts. Lucas, thoughts on Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness?
So to piggyback off a little bit of what Mark said, it wasn't a Scarlet Witch movie. It felt like a continuation of WandaVision to me. Like I almost feel like the plot you could have done, a second season of WandaVision and it could have been this.
Mm-hmm. Well, really actually, this was supposed to come out before Spider-Man No Way Home.
Really?
Yeah, this was supposed to come out before Spider-Man, but of course, fucking COVID ruining everything.
Yeah. So,
do you think it works better this way or the other way around?
I've got some thoughts on that as soon as he's done.
Okay, all right.
For me, though, I'll answer your question. I think that it can only be this way because I just feel like, I don't know. What it felt like was with the end where she was, she brought the mountain down on her and there was the big red puff of smoke. It felt like she needed to be healed so that she could be, an Avenger again when the next big bad happens. You know what I mean? So it felt like she needed to be healed, and that's what they did on here. I'm going to steal a little bit of something that producer Adam said too. It felt very Evil Dead to me. Not necessarily in a bad way. It was just, but it felt a little, I don't know, it felt a little copycat at times to other horror movies. There was nothing groundbreaking, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And I agree they did really push the PG-13 limit. Mm-hmm. Like when that Doctor Strange gets thrown onto that fence and he gets impaled. Captain Carter getting cut in half by the
I actually think the grossest thing was what's his name? Black Bolt. She basically seals his mouth shut and his head blows up.
Oh yeah.
I was like, whoa, fuck! All right, this is getting real now.
Then there was the jump scare where she would look like a demon and she grabs hold of Professor X and breaks his neck.
Yeah.
Like, that's another boundary pusher. Overall, I really like Wong and I like Doctor Strange, but I don't feel like this was really, like, he got his origin story in the first one, and this one just felt like WandaVision second season to me. There was not enough of those characters being flushed out. I liked that America was introduced. I like her as a character. I know that they really need, they're going for more of an international hero flavor now, which is good. You had Shang-Chi think is how you say it. I think is how I heard them say it. And then you had Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi.
I always thought it was Shang-Chi.
Oh, hell, I don't know.
I don't know. I thought I saw it on TV. They said it that way. Anyway, that doesn't matter.
Fucking Bush League program.
We could have told you that before we started.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the America character. I like her powers. It's really cool. She could like almost go, if she's in a bad fight, she could almost like throw something into a different universe or go into the different universe and then appear behind them and like punch them infinitely, and they could just keep looping through, kind of like when Doctor Strange made Loki fall for 13 minutes or whatever it was.
Right.
But yeah, I like the characters. I didn't mind Wanda being a bad guy, other than this being just a continuation of that show. It felt like, and to me, WandaVision is the best series that they've done still. That's just me personally. But yeah, I almost felt like it was a redeeming story for Scarlet Witch, is what this whole thing ultimately ended up being. And it didn't. The thing about I'll make this last point. The thing about Doctor Strange, I always thought that he was supposed to be like super, super powerful. He seems weak compared to, like, even Wong seems more powerful than him. And it bothers me. Like, he's supposed to be one of the strongest Avengers from the way that they talk about it in the movies, and he's just not.
I don't know. Wong couldn't fucking when he's trying to save himself from that, when he's falling down off the mountain, that fucking wasn't able to save himself. That doesn't seem like a very powerful sorcerer to me. He ends up.
But did he die though?
He didn't die. But I mean, I figured, you could have come up with something to where that little hook would have grappled into something.
Well, he's not the Balrog from Lord of the Rings. Didn't have that kind of snapping power.
I know for me, I thought it was good. Wasn't great. I don't think it's the best Marvel movie they've done. I think a lot of it for me was, I think Spider-Man No Way Home and the multiverse kind of set the bar way too high, because we got the, the Spider-Man. I get Spider-Man.
Spittermans.
We got, from all three of the movies, and like, I think once that came out, and it's probably just me reading the internet too much, but I mean, I'd heard rumblings that there was going to be an alternate Iron Man played by Tom Cruise. I was expecting more of the X-Men, and I think just it was kind of a letdown after Spider-Man. I think it probably would have worked better if it came out when it was supposed to, because then, like, okay, oh cool, we got Mr. Fantastic, we got Professor Xavier, then like if it leads into Spider-Man, like, oh, now we got all the Spider-Men. So I don't know, maybe it's just
I could see that.
I think it's hard to say. Like, I mean, I kind of understand why they put Spider-Man out first, because it introduces the concept of the multiverse a little better, with a little more clarity than this did. So, and it also puts Doctor Strange's position in this universe here, as opposed to, because he talks about Spider-Man in the movie. So if you switch it,
well, that could have easily just been like a reshoot scene too, because like, oh yeah, well, we're gonna have to push this back now, so now we have to tie this somehow into coming out after.
Yeah,
it's also like, you have to think about it. Marvel has to have a little bit of faith in this character. That, I mean, it's not like we're seeing a Captain America movie or a Thor or Iron Man movie. It's Doctor Strange. It's not a tier 1 character.
Well,
So
I was going to save this for later, but I'll just bring it out now. I think with the way that Doctor Strange has been presented in, especially the Phase 4, I think that they're kind of positioning him to be like the new Iron Man of the MCU.
Yeah, I see him.
Because he's kind of been the center of the... He's been kind of the center of the multiverse seems to be right now the main focal point of the Phase 4. And Doctor Strange has been like at the center of that.
Right.
And when you said, it didn't feel like a Doctor Strange movie, but it kind of felt more like a Scarlet Witch movie, and even, the America story to an extent, that's kind of how after Iron Man got his original 3 movies, he kind of became that secondary character, but yet everything still revolved around him. Where he didn't have to be the focal point, but yet he's still in there. You still know Doctor Strange is in there.
Right.
And that's what I think is happening is I don't know if he's going to be the leader of the Avengers, but it seems like he's going to be the focal point of these going forward, at least until the X-Men kind of get introduced, or even the Fantastic Four, to where like you have kind of one of their A+ properties. I guess the X-Men and the Fantastic Four A+ properties. Mark, you would know better than I would.
Yeah, no, I don't think we're going to get another Avengers movie. That's the thing.
Oh, you don't think?
For me, it doesn't. The Avengers doesn't fly without Captain America, Iron Man, or Thor.
No, that's true. Well,
play. I mean, I also think that they've got enough going for them with these other characters. Like we're going to get another Guardians movie. We're getting the new Thor movie. But in another Avengers movie, I don't think it's going to take them a long time. I think the Fantastic Four is going to be their Avengers movie if it's done right.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It has to be. I mean, it's Marvel's. It's their first family. It's their first like story that they did. So But the problem is that it's been done before, so it's hard to say. That was the novelty of the Avengers. It had never been done before. They finally got all these characters on screen. It was like, for me, it was like, wow, because that's the book I read, or still continue to read whenever I can. So
you don't see some kind of team up with the characters where they have to take on another big bad guy? Because I mean, they're still like now they pretty much have everybody, don't they? In terms of like the big gallery of villains in the Marvel universe. I mean, they have Doctor Doom now.
Right. Well, I mean, that's the thing. And that's what I thought when they went into this phase is that they would tease or put Doctor Doom on screen properly as opposed to, well, the last time. The first Fantastic Four movie, he wasn't bad, actually. It wasn't hateful. I've seen, there's worse incarnations of him, but like you said, the Spider-Man movie has put the bar up for them so high that anytime a Marvel movie comes out, and I hate to say it, I'm kind of scared of the Thor movie. I think it's going to be, I don't know where's the level between this thing's going to be awesome or where's it going to be way too cheesy,
I have a lot of faith in Taika Waititi.
Well, yeah, no,
I think Thor will be okay.
I think it'll be entertaining, yes. But
I don't know. I like the idea of Thor loosening up a little bit. He was a fucking 2x4 in his first 2 movies in comparison to how he is now. I like funny Thor.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think just for me, like I enjoyed it. I really like the fact that they took something that really hasn't been done in the MCU where they made it kind of a horror movie, which that's kind of cool. And I think when they kind of I think Marvel works best when they kind of take like a particular genre of movie and then they kind of craft their universe into it. Like I love Captain America and the Winter Soldier because it's essentially a political thriller featuring Captain America. And I mean, right. To me, the Winter Soldier is still the best of the Marvel movies, but we'll save that for another conversation. But yeah, I mean, just they hadn't really done horror yet, and I think they got the right guy to do a horror movie, and I think he pulled it off pretty well. I think Benedict Cumberbatch, I think Elizabeth Olsen, I think the cast is really good. I don't know, man, just something didn't click with me to where I liked it, but I didn't love it. And to me, it seems to be kind of like how these Phase 4 movies have been for me, with the exception of 1, maybe 2. But
it's for any film though. Are you gonna watch it again?
Oh, I've seen Doctor Strange twice already. I took my son to see it Saturday, so.
Right. Well, I mean,
did that change your opinion at all?
It kind of gave me more of the feeling that I have now versus if I would have done this episode right after we seen it originally, I probably would have been a little bit more favorable to it.
Okay.
Like I said, yeah, I still enjoyed it. I mean, I still liked watching it a second time. I know something just didn't click with me to where, like, I didn't have that same feeling that I did walking out of Spider-Man No Way Home or the Captain America movies or, some of the earlier stuff.
I almost
Yeah,
feel like
the Spider-Man movie, like, I'm still like appreciative of everything that did the movie. I felt the joy of seeing all the Spider-Man coming in the movie. Even when I at work, I'll put the movie on in the background in the warehouse just to listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I still got that, I don't know if I'm going to get it from watching Doctor Strange again.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of the best way I can see it. Like, I've seen Doctor Strange twice. When we went and seen it opening night, and then I seen it on Saturday with my son. I don't think I'm going to be in a huge rush to watch it again anytime soon. And that's not indicative of it being a bad movie. It's just like, okay, I've seen it twice. I enjoyed it. I got what I wanted out of it. But I think just between it just not clicking, and I think that I was probably expecting more than what I got. And I think if you watch this movie without the super high expectations of getting like, okay, I'm going to get all these really cool cameos, and like you're going to get the X-Men, you're going to get the Fantastic Four, you're going to get all these people you've never seen. If you kind of go into it without that, I think you're going to enjoy it more than somebody like me who expected more and didn't get it.
Right. I was happy with the cameos. That was really good.
Oh yeah, I was too. Like, especially the Mr. Fantastic one. Like I said, like yeah. I've been wanting a good Fantastic Four movie forever, and John Krasinski's actually the guy that I want to see play Mr. Fantastic in these movies. I think I told. I don't know if I was talking to you or talking. I think we were talking outside of after the movie. Like, get Krasinski, get Emily Blunt as Sue Storm. Boom, you've got him right. Like, that's perfect right there.
Right.
And just give Emily Blunt her Marvel movies. She was supposed to be Black Widow, but Krasinski knocked her up.
Wouldn't you?
Well, I can't say that I wouldn't. All right. Well, that's my thoughts on the movie. Real quick, what was your guys' favorite moment of the movie? Lucas, I'll lead off with you.
Favorite moment. Probably the pizza guy being forced to punch himself several times.
Yeah, anytime I get Bruce Campbell in anything, like that's going to be that's top 5 for me. Just I'm a huge Bruce Campbell fan.
And actually, that's probably like the funniest. I'd say probably. Sorry, I'm going to say a second one too. The music fight. Mm-hmm. I thought that I really got excited about that. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, the artist that created Doctor Strange's name is Steve Ditko, and it's very much his style. That music scene was pretty, like you could have seen it in a book at some point. It was really good. Mm. Well done.
Mark, favorite part of the movie?
Yet again, I like the scene where Dream walked into the dead Doctor Strange.
Zombie Strange, yeah, that was pretty cool.
Zombie Strange. If you didn't know, if you've seen the What If series, you know there's a Marvel Zombies thing that exists. And I never read the books when they came out, and they're a big deal. It was because when the zombie craze was huge. So to see that sort of concept actually fleshed out in a movie, not exactly a zombie sort of thing, but it was done really well. I mean, it looked great. Even though he was the hero, it was still scary too at some point, especially when he took over all the bodies and he's looking all the bodies looked like his cloak. That was like cool. Mm-hmm. So, but it was also kind of like, I think if it's a hate sort of thing too, because he's the hero of the movie. I wanted him to actually see him win, but he's fighting in a dead body, so it's not as I don't know. Usually you want the hero to win and do the thing, but it didn't seem that way. It was just kind of a cheat, if you will.
Thank God Daryl Dixon's not on that mountain. I would have put a fucking bow in him or an arrow.
And I feel like the America Chavez character. We never really talked about it. The character actually came out in 2011. I had to look it up. And mostly because I always thought she was like a Captain America knockoff. I didn't really know who the character was or what it was. I just never, her character never came across my reading. So it's interesting to see that they're going to put this character in the books like that. So, but that's when I say there might not be another Avengers movie. She is essentially the start of the next phase. Because with Marvel doing that, the She-Hulk's actually in the new Avengers too. It's called A-Force, is one of the things. So when that comes out, we'll see how that plays out.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like just the young female Avengers, because they got Kate Bishop and then Florence Pugh's character from Black Widow. I forget her name off the top of my head.
I think they just called her White Widow, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know she had a particular name, but
I can't remember.
Oh, it's not important. Not important.
It might have been Red Widow actually in the books.
Yeah,
so I'm not sure.
I know for me, first time seeing it, I think the introduction of the Illuminati was super cool. Just get all the cameos, especially for me, Mr. Fantastic. Second time around, I probably lean towards the fight sequence between the two Stranges with the music notes. I just thought that was so cool. And it seemed like they were playing notes from the score of the movie.
Yeah, that's what I really enjoyed.
It's done by the great Danny Elfman. Forgot to point that out.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I love some Danny Elfman, and I think his score fit perfectly in the movie. But yeah, I would say probably the music fight sequence. Probably it's one of the most creative fight sequences I've seen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Period. Was that so? I'll give it to that one just because I think it was cool the first time and it was cool the second time. Whereas the Illuminati introduction is cool the first time, but it loses a little bit because you kind of already know what's going to happen.
Right.
I don't know if you guys had any nitpicks. It didn't really sound like you did. I know for me, I said I don't like Wanda's kids.
Yeah.
Kids are just too...
Fuck them kids.
They're just too fucking nice, man. I don't know why I was watching that. I was going to whisper over to my wife. I was like, our kids are nothing like them. And I've never seen a more polite group of kids, and it's like, yeah, they're fucking made up for sure because nobody's kids are going to sing a song about ice cream. I know my kids could give two shits about watching Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which was playing in the background. So.
Oh yeah, I did notice.
Notice that too.
And I think they were watching the old Mickey cartoon when he was Steamboat Willie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they watched that the first time. But I mean, that's the only nitpick I have. Is her kids. You can tell their kids are made up. Either one, you got any nitpicks?
I think what Lucas said earlier about this is the sequel to WandaVision. I think if Dr.
I think it was
Strange
meant to be a sequel to WandaVision because I think it was supposed to be the first thing they put out after the show. But I think, the pandemic happening pushed everything back and it kind of jumbled the schedule. I think the way this was supposed to be was it was supposed to be WandaVision, and then Doctor Strange was supposed to be the next thing that they introduced. And then it didn't happen that way.
Well,
so I think it's supposed to be a continuation of WandaVision.
It would have worked, I think, a little better if Doctor Strange was in WandaVision. Just briefly.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed that we didn't get the cameo at the end because I know that was a rumor for the last episode that he was going to, is he going to show up? Because he was setting that into it.
Reading that. Yeah, I remember reading that. But no, he never showed up.
He knew it was going on, so I'm like, you just want to go, dude, why didn't you do anything about it,
Mm.
I think it would have been better had it come out right after WandaVision, but also not calling it a Doctor Strange movie. Like Russ said, it's like him in the background as Iron Man, in somebody else's movie, but...
Well, I mean, I still call it a Doctor Strange movie because I still think his character drives the plot of the movie along. Like, you still call it that. He's just not the complete focal point of the movie. He's kind of like he's like a good point guard. He's like Chris Paul. Like, Chris Paul's a fucking amazing basketball player, but he also makes other people around him better. I think he gives other people in the movie an opportunity to shine. So, yeah, I mean, I can still call it a Doctor Strange movie. Because, I mean, he still is the driving force of the movie. Like, America needs his help to figure out her power. He has to stop Wanda from, taking America's power. So...
Right. Yeah. And thinking about what you said earlier, I think this actually would, if this had come out before Spider-Man, I do think that works better. Because when he was questioning Wanda about what does she know about the multiverse, well, clearly he knew something about it. And he acted like he knew nothing in this movie because in Spider-Man he fucking opened a multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he learned everything. So
yeah,
so
I mean, for me, I just think it works better coming out before because I just think you set your expectations too high after Spider-Man, and then you're kind of, I don't know, it's probably just me reading, the lip service on the internet, like, oh, we're going to get fucking Tom Cruise as Iron Man, and fucking X-Men are going to show up. Like, producer Adam was even saying that he was hoping for Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, and, like, once he said that, I'm like, oh, fuck, we might get Wolverine in this.
Yeah.
And then, that stuff not coming to fruition just kind of...
Well, I mean, the Illuminati was supposed to be Marvel's highbrow, the best of the best, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Not that Wolverine isn't, but Professor X is the X-Men.
Well, I mean, I get it. It's kind of like, Mark, when you talk to me and Lucas about movies, you're the Illuminati, then, like, Lucas and I are the Avengers.
I'm more like the Defenders. I'm like down in the streets of Hell's Kitchen. I'm not even on your guys' level.
Hey, man, the Defenders had Daredevil. That's all they need. I love Daredevil. Last question. Well, I've actually got two. Since we discussed a little bit of the Phase 4, where would you rank Doctor Strange amongst the Phase 4 movies? Which that would be No Way Home, The Eternals, Shang-Chi, Black Widow. This one, I think that's it.
I would have it. Let's see. I would do Spider-Man, Shang-Chi, this, Black Widow, and then Eternals. Eternals is a fucking just god awful movie. It bummed me out. It was so bad. I wanted to quit watching it halfway through, but I thought, maybe somewhere in here there's some kind of saving grace, but it was like watching the second half of that Fantastic Four movie. It was just fucking brutal.
Mm-hmm. Mark, what about you? You've seen all the Phase 4 films, right?
Yeah. Part of me is like, why is the Black Widow part of Phase 4? I mean, it doesn't fit anywhere.
No, it doesn't.
So
but technically it's part of that. Because I guess it sets up Yelena. That's the character's name.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, it sets up her being in stuff down the road, I think. I think that's where this one comes in. That's why it's Phase 4, is it sets up a future Black Widow, per se.
Spider-Man's number one.
Yeah.
That's easy. I want to put this one at number 2. I'm a Sam Raimi fan. I really like it. And it works well with Spider-Man too, on that multiversal level. Shang-Chi's 3, because I think it's still tying everything together. And then Black Widow's going to be 4th, and then Eternals is still 5. And here's the thing about Eternals is that they've taken a part of the universe that's just so. It's kind of where Loki was right now. It's in that part of that universe.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So like they've got a lot going on. Like if you've watched all of the Hawkeye show, that's where your Black Widow's getting tied to, and it's kind of like they're flipping which is next. Like the Thor movie. While I think it's going to tie to the Eternals quite a bit, which a lot of people are like going, oh no, please don't. But I mean, the whole Celestial thing and the end of the Eternals, that's a big part of the Marvel Universe. I mean, it's one of their like building blocks, if you will.
Well, I didn't have a problem with the characters. I had a problem with the fact that there was 9 million of them in one movie, and you didn't get a sense of who any of them were. When they died, it's not like, oh my god, they're dead. It's not like Iron Man. You don't fucking cry.
Yeah,
it's just
there's no love for the characters.
Well, I don't think comparing them to Iron Man is fair because you've had 15 years to know the character of Iron Man. But I get what you're saying. Now it's kind of like my big beef with the movie.
I'll tell you what, though, it's a lot better than sitting through the episodes of the Inhumans that they put out. I mean, that thing was.
I never even bothered to watch that show. Is it that bad?
It was. Oh yeah, it was.
Was that CW?
No, that was ABC. I think.
It was ABC that put it out. Anson Mount, who played Black Bolt, was in the show too, and I didn't recognize him. And the funny thing is that earlier that day, I got up and I'd watched Star Trek, the new Star Trek show that's on Paramount Plus.
Oh God, here we go. Turn into a fucking Star Trek episode. Go ahead, Mark. You're already on the point.
No, I'm not going to do it now. You would have to watch Star Trek Discovery the second season before. He plays a great Captain Pike. It's fantastic. So it's hard to see him go back to this Black Bolt character that was kind of like blah, except for the fact that they put they fully dressed him in the TV show. He was nowhere near like in the costume.
His mask, I bet that dude pulls in like thousands and thousands of television stations on that. It's like a fucking mega antenna. But go ahead, I apologize.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a different part of the universe, and we'll see where. The only thing about that makes me say that the Thor movie is not going to do that is in the trailer, they're going to. I'm going to assume what is Olympus.
Mm-hmm.
So and in the Marvel universe, Olympus is part of. It's where the character Hercules is from, and it'll be interesting to see how they pull that off. The Hercules character in the book is really I don't know how to put him. He's a big drunkard, if you will. So if Taiki does it right, it should look really good, providing they actually do the character. So, but it looks like they are. But I mean, that's probably where they're going to tie that part of. But that's what I said earlier. I said, who's the big bad they're going to come with? Because they've got the space thing going, they got the magic thing going, and they got the spy thing going. Mm-hmm. Where's it all going to go together?
We'll find out in July.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, Russ. Oh, sorry.
Because let's face it, if you guys watched Moon Knight, that went nowhere near any of that.
I haven't seen Moon Knight yet.
It's good. It's entertaining. It's entertaining, Lucas. That's about it. But I mean, it doesn't tie itself to the universe. But it's good. It's a good watch for us. Don't get me wrong.
I like Oscar Isaac, so I'm planning on checking it out. So
that's the reason to watch it. And I liked Ethan Hawke in it too. So Lucas had a poop.
Apparently, he's got to take a shit. So last question: on a scale of 1 to 10. What would you rate Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness? Mark, what would you give it?
Hold on. Did you give us where you would put it? Where you would put the movie?
Oh, yeah. I completely forgot. How fucking rude of me. I'd say number 2. I do like Mark's point. It does tie into Spider-Man. Spider-Man is by far number 1. I still rank Spider-Man No Way Home is probably one of the best Marvel movies they've done. Doctor Strange is number 2. Shang-Chi is a very close number 3. Like, I haven't seen that one since I've seen it in theaters, but if I watched it tomorrow, that could easily change. Black Widow is solid. I'd say solid number 4. Yeah, the Eternals has got to be 5. Like, I plan on revisiting that at some point, just to maybe get a different perspective on it, because there's been movies I've seen that I hated. I've seen them again, and I kind of grow to appreciate them a little more. But
it was so fucking boring.
Yeah, I didn't like it either. I think that was actually when I went and seen it was the same day we did the critically panned Midnight Run episode, and I was sick that night. So that could have had something to do with it too.
How is it critically panned?
It's a running gag. It's a running gag on the program, Mark. Running gag. But yeah, I would say the Eternals is number 5.
All right, sorry, Mark. Go ahead. What's your ranking for this movie?
On a scale of 1 to 10.
Give it a 7.
7?
Yep.
Lucas?
Yeah, I'll give it an 8.
Oh, an 8. Producer Adam chimed in. He gave me his rating as well. He gave it a good, he gave it a 6 to 7 out of 10. He said he thought the movie was good, not great. It wasn't the worst Marvel movie, though. When most of the surprising thing is the cameos, the story might need a little work. Well written, but very heavy-handed towards the somber loss of love for all the characters involved. So he gives it a 6, 7 out of 10. I would give it a 7 out of 10. Like I said, it was good. It was nice seeing Sam Raimi back in a saddle again. I'm with Mark. Sam Raimi's top 10 all-time favorite director for me. Fucking love that dude. I think out of everything he's done, I think Oz and Spider-Man 3 are the only 2 movies I really don't like and haven't bothered to rewatch. But outside of that, so yeah, it's nice seeing him. Nice seeing him put his little twist in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah, 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I went with an 8, just real quick. I know we're running over, and you look like, Jesus Christ, Lucas, shut the fuck up.
No, I was actually saying, God damn, Mark ate like 45 minutes of it up, and then your fucking 25-minute intro and the plot.
My bad.
Did you read that right off Wikipedia?
No, it was helping me though.
Dude, when I messaged you earlier about like doing the plot, I'm like, I was reading Wikipedia. I'm like, no, I'm not fucking reading that. I'll give that to Lucas.
I think that the characters and the acting and all of it was very, very good in the movie. That's why I give it the 8. And like I said, I really like WandaVision, so it's an extension of WandaVision, which I really like. So.
Oh yeah, dude, I love Benedict Cumberbatch's Doctor Strange. Like, I think in terms of how well they've cast the characters, I think his version's like right up there, one of the best. I don't know. I think it's just the fact I was a little disappointed in not getting the mega big cameos. But yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch is great. I really like his take on Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, do either one of you have any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
No, I was very long-winded in my plot summary.
Well, hey,
so
like I said, man, it's the first time we've done one of these. It's just like, riding a bike for the first time. You'll get it. And then pretty soon you're riding in the Tour de France.
All right. Well, I'm glad I've been entrusted to go forward with it after that stirring performance I had.
I don't know. We may have to do another one of these. I was debating on doing Top Gun Maverick, but because I plan on going to see that fucking thing opening day. So
I will be having a child somewhere around there, so I will not be able to attend.
But I don't know. If anything, we'll revisit this right after Thor: Love and Thunder comes out.
Sounds good.
All right.
We'll have to bring professional dad back on. Professional comic book dad.
The master of the New Balance 624.
That's right.
That's going to be your new nickname.
Or them $20 Meyer Reeboks.
Captain Keds.
There it is.
Mark, do you have anything you want to add before we wrap this up?
No.
Well, gentlemen, it was a pleasure. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, gentlemen, it was a pleasure speaking with you two about all things multiverse. It was fun. We'll do it again soon.
Well, I will always be here.
Yeah, you'll be here next week until you fucking go on another damn vacation, and then you'll be off for 7 weeks.
Only one of us is going out of state, and it is not me.
It's true. We'll have to put one in the can for that week. But if neither one of you have anything else to add, it was awesome speaking with you guys, and we will talk at you guys later. And that's going to do it for today's episode of the Couch Potato Podcast. We hope you guys and gals enjoyed that episode. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get podcasts so you don't miss out on a brand new episode each and every Tuesday wherever you get podcasts. And if you like what we're doing here at the show, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You also could email the show at couchpotatopodcast@gmail.com. If you have any concerns, questions, or complaints about the show, we would love to hear from you guys. So we will talk to you guys next Tuesday.